Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us for this Monday night edition of SLU News 22. I'm Chris Ackles. We begin tonight with what many are calling the housing fiasco of 2010 here at St. Louis University. Housing assignments for the 2010-2011 school year wrapped up over the weekend and have left many students wondering exactly what process was followed to handle those assignments. Some students are claiming that SLU's requirement that sophomores live on campus has pushed many upperclassmen to find housing off campus, including those who are forced to take contracts in the new flats. That was especially problematic for those who had housing scholarships because SLU has said they will not be honoring those scholarships for students living in the flats. Student Government Association is currently holding a residential affairs committee meeting in the Senate chambers, allowing many students to voice their opinions on the housing issues. However, no members of the Residence Life staff are at that meeting. As we said, we will continue to keep you updated on those developments. Chartwell's first annual Billiken Street Fest is this Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in front of Griesedek Hall. There will be lots of food, games, prizes, and events. This is one of the events that Chartwells came up with over spring break in an effort to make dining services up to par with SLU students' expectations. Reinhardt is hosting its second annual Easter egg hunt in the dark tonight at 9 p.m. There will be more than just candy rewards, prizes including gift cards to the U, the Fountain, the Cupcakery, and Pappy's Smokehouse, as well as a number of other restaurants. The event is intended for freshmen, but anyone is welcome to attend. It is a Billikens After Dark sponsored event, so there will be free food and prizes in addition to the prizes found during the egg hunt. Chief Meteorologist David Keller is with us with a weather update. David?
Well, we had plenty of sunny skies this afternoon, warmer temperatures, and those warmer temperatures are going to continue over the next several days. Outside right now, we are still sitting around 56 degrees. We did warm up to around 60 this afternoon. We have some light northwest winds that help to keep temperatures cooler than we could have seen with more sunny skies. There we go. I think we got it. Temperatures across the region are still in the 50s, upper 50s around St. Louis. To our west, where it did get warmer this afternoon, they did make it into the middle 60s. But with clear skies and light winds, temperatures will be falling rather rapidly this evening, down to 39 degrees by morning with those clear skies, light winds. So chilly start to tomorrow morning. There is some much warmer weather in store for the next several days. I think you'll enjoy this forecast.
I certainly hope so. Anytime you say warm, I'll enjoy it. Right. Well, we've had some crazy weather across the country. Heavy rain is causing more unease across the Northeast as forecasters are calling for several more inches of rain in the Northeast region. Nervous residents along the East Coast watched as rivers rose and they braced for a new round of flooding. The wettest March on record in some areas we've seen over the past few weeks. The National Weather Service posted flood warnings and advisories from Maine all the way down to the Carolinas as forecasts called for as much as 5 to 7 inches of rain over the next 3 days. The storm is threatening to push already swollen rivers over their banks and add to the misery of homeowners still struggling to bail out those flooded basements from other recent storms in those same areas. Now, Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick declared a state of emergency Monday and mobilized as many as 1,000 National Guard troops to assist in the event of major flooding. So obviously this is something that across the country we're seeing. This is a phenomenon where everybody is getting rain.
Certainly. I mean, much of the country is seeing excess rain. We're dealing with flooding here in the Midwest. The Missouri, the Mississippi, the Illinois rivers, they're all out of their banks right now, and we could see more flooding with rains in the next several weeks. However, this week it does look very dry, so that should help to lower the flood impact in the Midwest.
Well, that's good news. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at some more national and international news on SLU News 22.
images from Haiti are heartbreaking. Homes, hospitals, and schools are destroyed. Families searching for loved ones, parents trying to feed their children. But we can all do something. We can help the American Red Cross as it delivers the food, water, and medicine that can save lives. Donate $10 by texting Haiti to 90999. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. Thanks for your help.
Welcome back to SLU News 22. Saturday mail may soon be a thing of the past. The United States Postal Service has announced that it plans to cut Saturday mail service as soon as the first half of 2011. The cut comes as the Postal Service is battling lagging postage in response to the surge in emails, as well as a decline due to the recession. The planned cutback is expected to save the Postal Service about $3.1 billion in the first year and as much as $5.2 billion per year by the year 2020. Saturday delivery was selected for elimination because that is the lightest volume delivery day of the week, and it's a day when more than a third of U.S. businesses are closed. In international news, Russian investigators continue to search through the debris left behind from a Moscow subway bombing early this morning. The blast killed at least 38 people and injured at least 60 more. Prime Minister Vladimir Putin said that the terrorists responsible for Moscow subway attacks will be destroyed. The bombing suspects were let's start that one over. The bombings were suspected to have been carried out by two female suicide bombers who may have been somehow connected to the Chechnyan rebels from the northern region of Russia, who have long been fighting for independence from Russia. Thousands have been killed and 500,000 Chechnyans displaced by almost 20 years of conflict between Russia and Chechnya. The search for survivors following the deadly explosion on a South Korean Navy vessel has so far been unsuccessful. Divers have been hammered on the hulls of the front and rear sections of the sunken ship, but no sign of life has been detected. Military officials said on Monday the 1,200-ton patrol ship was carrying 104 sailors when an apparent explosion caused it to capsize Friday night in the Yellow Sea near a disputed maritime border between the Koreas. 58 sailors have been rescued, but hopes are fading for the remaining 46 on board. No cause has been determined for the ship's sinking, although a news agency quoted military officials saying that an unidentified explosion tore a hole in the ship's rear, shutting off the engine. 4 employees of the British-Australian mining giant Rio Tinto, including an Australian citizen, were convicted by a Chinese court Monday of accepting millions of dollars in bribes and stealing commercial secrets. They were sentenced to 7 to 14 years in prison, and the company said 4 of the workers were fired immediately. Rio Tinto, which until Monday had defended its employees, said the court's evidence showed that they had accepted about $13.5 million in bribes in recent years. Back to weather, a tornado struck the Grand Bahama Island today in a rare bout of severe weather. The storms originated over Florida and spawned several reports of severe weather, including strong winds, funnel clouds, and even a couple of tornado reports in the Caribbean. The storms then moved off the shore and into the Bahamas. The meteorological office issued a severe thunderstorm warning shortly before the tornado struck. The strong winds toppled trees and power lines, damaged roofs and cranes. The extent of the storm is not known, but it appears a large area was affected. Several injuries and at least 3 deaths have been reported. We did have a calm day here in St. Louis. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist David Weather for a first look at the weather.
Well, I like that name, David Weather, but we did have some great weather out here. High pressure is in control of our weather for the next several days. That means sunny skies and a big warm-up, as well as a very dry week. We'll have the full details right after the break.
1 in 6 adults has a mental illness.
And we face a stigma that can be as painful as the disease itself.
Change a mind about mental illness, and you can change a life.
We are all.
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 We are all. We are all.
We are all.
Billikens.
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 Well, welcome back to the SLU News 22 studios. David, I called you David Weather earlier. I guess Keller and Weather have a similar sound to
I
them.
don't know. I guess you just kind of had weather on the brain or
you know,
something.
I'm just so excited about the weather today. I mean, I have been for the past.
We did have a great weather day out there today. We went bright sunshine, plenty of warm temperatures. A great day to get outside, and we're going to have more of these ahead, so there's something to look forward to. This afternoon, we did make it up to a high of 59 degrees here at SLU. Out at Lambert, they hit 60 degrees, which just happens to be our normal high of 60. So it was a very normal day, although it did feel very nice outside. We are looking for warmer temperatures, and we could be approaching record territories in the next couple of days. I'm not going to say we're going to break a record, but we're going to get into record territory. Temperatures this afternoon, we were in the upper 50s in the St. Louis region, cooler off to the north and east, where they had more cloud cover, but very warm off to the west, where they saw full sunshine, and the high pressure is very much in control to our west. That helped them warm up into the 70s and even 80s in some cases. You can see just widespread sunshine, almost no clouds in the sky whatsoever, and that's going to continue for the next several days as this high pressure that was in control today will continue to stay in control. It brought us rather mild temperatures as we had a northerly breeze this afternoon, but this high pressure is going to go ahead and settle on to our southeast. That means a southwesterly breeze for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and that means much warmer temperatures. So here is your forecast for Tuesday when you wake up and head out to your 8 a.m. class. 42 degrees. It's a mild start today, not too cold. We are going to have a low around 39, so it's a little chilly if you're out early in the morning. By noon, up to 67 degrees. Very nice to eat your lunch outdoors. And by 4 p.m., 72, so 12 degrees above normal. It's going to be very warm outside, cooling down to about 65 by 8 p.m. So here's the rest of your 7-day forecast. Warming up to 79 by Wednesday, 81 on Thursday, and it could go even warmer than that on Friday, 82, 83, maybe as high as 85 by Friday, and then a chance for storms in this forecast by the weekend. So it's looking like a great week. I know a lot of people are headed out of town on Thursday as it's Easter break, but we should have some decent weather for Tuesday and Wednesday before people head out.
Well, I've got a couple of friends headed down to Florida, but with this kind of a forecast, you don't need to go to Florida.
Yeah, we're going to have some great weather here, and it's not humid.
Yeah,
like it would be in Florida.
It'll be plenty warm here. I'm sure it'll be warm in Florida and in Texas, and hopefully they'll get some warm and dry weather out east to take care of the flooding. But when you come back from Easter break, I'm sure it'll be warm next week when we return on Tuesday and Wednesday.
It's probably still going to be warm, but it may not be as warm. It looks like we might be a little
probably
bit cooler.
A good thing.
And probably more rain. You know, it is spring, but we'll see how it goes.
That's probably a good thing. It is spring, which means basketball is ending and baseball is beginning. We'll take a look at sports when we come back. Well, college basketball is in the air this time of year, and the Billikens are in action right now. St. Louis survived a scare from the Green Bay Phoenix in the CBI quarterfinals last week with a double overtime victory, and then they beat Princeton in the semifinals at Chaifetz Arena on Wednesday. Tonight, the Billikens are in the College Basketball Invitational Finals against Virginia Commonwealth. You may remember Virginia Commonwealth as a team that beat Duke just 2 years ago in the NCAA tournament. We'll get to the Blue Devils. They're in the Final Four. We'll come to that in a second. But tonight, it's Virginia Commonwealth versus St. Louis in Game 1 of the 3-game series that makes up the CBI Finals. Our most recent score update is from halftime in Virginia, where Virginia Commonwealth has a 36-25 lead on St. Louis. The Billikens are down 11 at the half. Game 2 of that series will be held at home, Chaifetz Arena, Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Well, as we mentioned, March Madness has finally reached its Final Four stage. They've narrowed down from 65 teams down to 4. The Final Four will be held in Indianapolis, and that's a big advantage for Butler. The 5-seeded Bulldogs, who are from Indianapolis, ended up surviving through the West region. They will go to the Final Four to take on Michigan State. Michigan State won the Midwest region here in St. Louis. So that's one semifinal game. The other semifinal game is 1-seeded Duke out of the South region versus 2-seeded and Big East champ West Virginia out of the East region. So the Final Four features 2 5-seeds. They'll be playing each other. That's Butler and Michigan State. It also offers a 1-seed versus a 2-seed on the other side. Here in St. Louis, Tennessee beat Ohio State but ended up losing to Michigan State, as we mentioned, who will be representing the Midwest region in Indianapolis. Those games are Saturday night with the national championship next Monday. Of course, the NIT tournament is also down to its Final Four, and trust me, we usually wouldn't be reporting on this, but 2 of those Final Four teams are from the Atlantic 10 Conference. The Dayton Flyers take on Mississippi tomorrow in one semifinal, and in the other semifinal, it's the Rams of Rhode Island. They'll take on North Carolina right after that, so we'll keep an eye on those games as the Atlantic 10 has an impressive showing in postseason basketball. Well, it is also the best time of year for baseball fans. Opening day is right around the corner. The St. Louis Cardinals open the season in Cincinnati next Monday. That's the day after Easter. They'll be taking on the Reds at Great American Ballpark. Opening day at Busch Stadium is Tuesday, April 12th, as the Cardinals will host the Houston Astros. The Major League Baseball season begins on Easter Sunday with an ESPN primetime broadcast of the biggest rivalry in sports. That's right, the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox go head-to-head at Fenway Park on Easter Sunday in a game that begins at 7 o'clock Central Time. So for baseball fans, you don't get any better than that to begin the 2010-2011 season. So, David, it all goes back to the weather you were talking about. When you start, spring gets in the air. For guys like me, pollen gets in the air. We start sneezing. It's baseball season, basketball ending. It all comes back to just it's warming up.
Yeah, the allergy season has definitely started with these warmer temperatures, and it certainly feels like spring. It's almost going to feel like summer these next several days, as temperatures are going to be well into the 80s by the time we get to Thursday and Friday. As you can see, high temperatures, 81 on Thursday, 82 on Friday, could potentially get up to 84 or 85 before a cold front comes through on Saturday. Now, when we started the broadcast, we were talking about the housing fiasco.
That's right. The housing. It is a short week, but it's definitely going to be a newsworthy week because right now in the Senate chambers, the Residential Affairs Committee meeting continues. It has now been over an hour and 15 minutes as a number of students continue to feel impassioned about what happened with housing assignments for the past weekend. Of course, those took place this past weekend, and the students are going to see how they can work. Of course, with the Easter break, who knows what's going to happen there.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are really rather upset about this, and we'll continue to watch it, and we'll bring you more news updates if necessary.
We'll keep you updated. We know you'll be taking a break for Easter. We will, too. We thank you for joining us this week. You can follow us online at SLU-TV.slu.edu. You can also follow us on Twitter. From our content partner at the University News at unewsonline.com. For Matt and David and for all of us at SLU-TV, we thank you for joining us. This is SLU News 22. Have a great Easter break.